everyone, my name is Katy Wherry. I am here at the Canto Flute Academy in Golden, Colorado. We are recording videos today to help with your all-state audition preparation. My topic is sight reading, so I'm going to help give you a few tips on how to practice sight reading. So sight reading is when you see a piece for the very first time and you have to play through it without having practiced it before. There are a few things that you want to look at before you start sight reading that are very important. It's a good idea to set a timer for between 30 and 60 seconds maybe, just to look at the piece. Don't play at all, just have a look at the time signature is the first thing. So you want to know how many beats per measure there are. Then you want to have a look at the key signature, how many sharps, how many flats. It's also a good idea to scan through for any kinds of accidentals you see, those extra sharps and flats that might trick you later on. After you've checked the time signature and the key signature, it's a great idea to have a look and see where you think the hardest section is, and maybe finger through it, count through the rhythms of that section in your head, and make sure that when you sight read, you don't play too fast for that most difficult section. It's a really good thing to do. Some other really great things to look for are things like articulation. Are there slurs? Are there accents? Where are they? Dynamics. So where are your louds and where are your softs? Are there any crescendos? These kinds of things. So again, as you're practicing sight reading, set a timer, 30, 60 seconds, something like that, and get used to scanning through for those things. It's a good idea to make a list as well of those things that maybe you want to look for. So then, when you get to the actual sight reading part, the most important thing is the rhythm. That's what people are going to be listening for. That's going to determine the flow of the piece, all of those things. So a good practice technique is actually to practice sight reading only rhythm without your instrument, so you don't have to be thinking about playing the right notes necessarily all the time. There are a few really good resources online that you can look for that are only rhythmic sight reading exercises. I found a website called practicesightreading.com. That's a really good place to go. Also, if you just Google sight reading rhythms, I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of things. So if you can spend the first part of your sight reading practice only practicing rhythms, that's going to put you on the right track. The next important topic is just to make sure that you don't stop. I think a lot of us are really used to practicing, and when you make a mistake, you get self-conscious of it and you stop and you try to fix it. That can be a habit. So as you're practicing sight reading, no matter what happens, just keep going through to the end. It's really important to practice that. Another thing is you want to practice looking ahead of where you're actually playing. I like to use the example of, when you're watching a YouTube video and you see that little buffering line, ahead of where your actual play, your play button is or whatever. If that little circle hits before the buffering line, then everything stops. So you want to think of your eyes as the buffer as you're going through, and try to look at least a measure ahead of where you're actually playing. It's a good thing to practice as well. So in order to get better at sight reading, it's something that you just have to do every day. Even if it's only for 5 minutes, it makes a huge difference. It has to be a daily practice. So start now, between 5 to 15 minutes a day, and make sure it's something that you've never seen before. So it really can be anything that either music that you have. If you have these etude books anyway for this all-state auditions, those are great things to read through. You can also just Google sight reading materials. Again, that's something else you can do. So I hope you enjoy your sight reading practice and get started. Thanks.